Okay, your last section. Where am I? 118, I think. I think. And we're into probability. All right. Which event's less or most likely to occur? Flipping a coin with sides labeled heads and tails, and the coin landing on tails. So that's a 50-50 chance, right? Choosing a marble out of a bag with 9 blue marbles, 1 red, and the marble being red. 9 blue marbles, 1 red marble. There's 10 marbles in total. The probability of you getting a red is 1 out of 10, so that's a very little chance of 10% chance. Rolling a cube. This face is labeled 1 to 6, and the cube landing on a number less than 6 for the number. So you have chances of you winning would be landing on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a 5 out of 6 chance. It's a pretty good chance. Spinning the arrow on a spinner with 4 sections labeled 1 to 4, and the arrow landing on a number greater than 1. Well, landing on a greater than 1 would be landing on 2, 3, and 4. So you have a 3 out of 4 chances. Which is greater, 5 over 6 or 3 over 4? Definitely 5 over 6, right? Because 5 over 6 is about 83%. So C would have been the correct answer. On 18, cereal company puts a colored ring in the box. There's 6 different colors. The colors of the rings in each 50 box cereal boxes are shown on the table. Based on the date, what's the probability that the next cereal box will contain a blue or a yellow ring? I'm pretty sure the word's not date. Based on the data, I should say data. So there are 50 in total, right? 10, 20, and 30 is 20. So the probability that the next will contain a blue or a yellow, the probability of being a blue or yellow, if you add those up, so the chances of you reaching into that cereal box and taking a blue or yellow, it's 2 out of 5, simplified. There you go. 20, store owner made a list of the number of greeting cards sold last month. The store sold 167 thank yous, 285 birthdays, 56 blank. Based on the data, which is the closest probability that the next customer will buy a blank card? So let's add the number of cards first. We always need a total. So if you add it up, 167 plus 285 plus 56. So there are 508 cards sold. Out of the 508, blank cards were 56. So probability the next customer comes into the store and is a buyer of a blank card will be 56 out of 508, which if you simplify, and as a decimal, you get 0.11. So it's an 11% chance the next customer that walks into the store will buy a blank card. So little chance. 121, which tree diagram shows all the possible outcomes for tossing a coin, rolling a fair number that has 4 sides labeled 1 to 4. So if you toss a coin, you can get heads or you can get tails. Think about that. Let's talk about what happens when the coin lands on heads. It can be heads in 1, heads in 2, and then you can have head in 3, and you can have heads in 4th, right? So you can roll a coin. This is the coin, and this is the die, or the 4-sided pyramid. So you can have, the result would be H1, H2, H3, or H4. That's what can come out. But if the coin lands on tails, you can get a tail with the number 1 on the pyramid, number 2, number 3, or number 4. So this is a tree diagram. You can have a T1, tails 1, tails 2, tails 3, tails 4. So all the possible outcomes are shown here. So is there anything that looks like this? Well, Right here, right? It shows all the possibilities that can happen when you have a coin and a four-sided instrument labeled 1 through 4. 122. Passenger train has 12 window seats and 8 aisle seats. Next person to buy a ticket will be randomly assigned. What's the probability the next person will assign to an aisle seat? Well, there's 20 seats and 8 of them are aisles. So the probability of getting an aisle seat is 8 out of 20. Or if you simplify 2 out of 4 divided by 2 out of 5, there we go. You have a 40% chance of getting an aisle seat. 123, store. Customers are randomly selected to participate in a survey. 500 customers at the store, 90 were selected. There were 90%. On Saturday, the manager expects 700 customers at the store. What's the probability of being selected participating? Okay. So on Friday, 90 out of the 500 customers were selected for the survey. On Saturday, so this was Friday. On Saturday, so that's the probability. So on Friday, the probability of you being selected for a survey out of the 500 was 90 out of 500. So to keep that same probability out of 700 on Saturday, how many on Saturday would be selected? Well, in this case, you would multiply. So let's just simplify before that. Take those zeros away. So 90 divided by 5 is 18 times 7. On Saturday, you can expect about 126 people to be selected. To keep that same chance. Okay. 124. Board game has a spinner. Each section is labeled 1 through 5. What's the reasonable estimate number of times the spinner will land on number 5? Okay. The chance of landing on number 5 is 1, 2, 3. There's 3 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 3 out of 12 chance of landing on number 5. So we can take that chance and multiply that by 150 and we'll get how many times out of 150 we should expect to land on 5. So 3 over 12, so we can multiply 3 times 150, you can simplify with 1/4 of 150, which is 37.5, sorry, 37.5, so approximately 40 out of the next 150, you can expect it to land in 5. Expect doesn't mean it will happen, but 125, that was it. 125 is now geometry. What's the radius in centimeters of a circle? All right, so let me draw the circle, and we're looking for the radius. What do we know here? We know the circumference. So circumference is pi times d, and we're looking for the radius. So we can change the circumference to 16 pi, right? Diameter, we can find diameter, and then we can divide it by 2 to find the radius. So this and this can go away, so which means the diameter of this circle is 16, right? Radius is half of the diameter, so radius equals 8. What is the actual height in feet of the building? Scale, so we have a scale 1 inch is 30 feet. It's the height of the building in real life, so 1.25 inches equals how many feet? X feet. Cross multiply, x equals 30 times 1.25 or 37.5 feet. There you go. How's that? 127 Again, another scale, 1 to 1 inch is 13.5 feet. One of the cars of the Model Train is 5 inches long. What is the length in feet? Okay, again, another proportion. Cross multiply 13.5 times 5, we get 67.5 feet. $128. Wallpaper. We had that question on test. What's the cost in dollars of the wallpaper per square foot? So let's find the area of this particular wall. 42 times 25.5. The area here is 1,071 square feet. So we can set up a proportion, $712 per 1,071 square feet. We want the price of 1 square foot, sorry. Basically the unit rate. Divide those two. We can divide 771.12 divided by 1071, and we get 72 cents per square footage. $129. This is circumference. So here's the circumference of a circle, and I'll write C equals 11 pi. What's the area? All right, so if the circumference is 11 pi, let's use this formula here. C equals pi d, circumference equals pi times the diameter. If I'm given the circumference, I can find the diameter. So here, the diameter is this line over here. Circumference is 11 pi equals pi times d. The 2 pi's can go away. And I'm given that the diameter of this circle is 11, whatever, what is this, inches. Which means, if that's 11 inches, that means the radius is 5.5 inches. Now that I know what that radius is, can I find the area of the circle? Yeah, area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi times 5.5 to the second power. And it says leave in terms of pi, so all we have to do is multiply 5.5 raised to the second 5.5 raised to the second power. Jeez. Okay, 5.5 raised to the second power, which gives us 30.25. We're not going to multiply by pi. We're just going to leave it in terms of pi. So inches squared. That's my final answer. Scale drawing of an apartment. 1 centimeter represents 2 3/4 feet. The length of the kitchen is 4.5 centimeters. What's the actual length? Well, again, set of a portion. I'll use decimals here. 1 inch, 1 centimeters equals this. If I have 4.5 centimeters, how many feet will it be? Cross multiply, we get x equals 4.5 times 2.75, which is 12.375 feet, or this number right here, D. 131. 1 inch is 35 miles. So again, that's on the map. It says 1 inch is 35 miles. You measure on the map that the distance between A and B is 2.5 inches. How many miles would that be? Again, cross multiply. X equals 35 times 2.5. 87.5 miles. $132. Okay, contractor's building the base of a circular fountain, alright? In the blueprint, the base of the fountain has a diameter of 18 centimeters, okay? So I can write 18 centimeters. The blueprint has a scale of 3 centimeters to 4 feet. So 3 centimeters equals 4 feet. Let me write centimeters here. What will be the actual area of the base of the fountain square feet after it's built? Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a square foot. So that's a drawing in real life. 18 centimeters equals, well, let's see how many feet, right? Cross multiply, we get 3x equals 18 times 4, which is 72. We're going to divide both sides by 3. X equals 24 feet. So in real life, that fountain has a diameter of 24 feet, right? But which means the radius is 12 feet. Now, if I know the radius, can I find the area? Yeah, I can. Area equals pi r squared. Does it say leave in terms of pi? No, round to nearest tenth. So area equals pi times 12 squared. In your calculator, you're going to do 12 to the second power, enter, and then times pi. There's a pi button. I forgot how to do this. Hang on a second. I forgot how to do the part where you multiply. Sorry, oops, I got 144 times pi, enter, and then, no. Okay, 144 times pi, oh, I found it. Pi, enter, here we go. So, in your calculator, well, 12 squared is 144, so you're going to have this in your calculator. If the answer doesn't say leave in terms of pi, it actually means that we're gonna have to multiply. But you don't have to multiply. You just gotta, after you enter 144 times pi and your calculator shows this, there's a button in your calculator that looks like this. Right, right next is above the enter button on the right hand corner, bottom right hand corner. If you press that, it will actually multiply these two, and you should get 452.39. rounded, but this one said round to the nearest 10, so it'd be 452.4. So the answer is 452.4 feet squared. We'll go over this in class. 133. Kyo used a wire fencing to border around a circular region. Okay, so there's a circular region in his backyard. The radius of the circular region was 5 yards. What's the length of the border? So they want the circumference. If that's right, because he's putting a fence. Let me draw the fence. Drawing a fence around his circular yard. So what's the distance around the circular region? So C equals pi. I like to use this one. You can use this. Right, if the radius is 5, we know the diameter is 10. So all we gotta do is pi times d, and obviously this time we want to multiply. So pi times 10, and pi times 10 is simply 31.4. In this case, it's right there. If you take your calculator again, multiply 10 times pi, enter, and you will have this showing. And then once you have that showing, press this button, and you'll see that your calculator will show this 592654, or you can just round it to nearest tenth, 31 point. Actually, it should be 5, round to nearest tenth. Right, but they put it 31.4. A circle has a diameter of 26, which means the radius is 13. What is the area of the circle? Well, a equals pi r squared. A equals pi times 13 to the second power. And we're going to go 13 to the second power. And your calculator will show 169. And then you're going to multiply that by pi. So you press times pi. And you will see this, right? And then, again, like I said, press that button that looks like that. and it will actually multiply that out, and you get 530.9291585 or 530.93. Sorry, I don't know why I put that. 530.93. And you can see that's right here. All right. Wow, that's it. All right.